Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate, once again in Kingdom Hearts podcast. I am Joe.
I am Caleb.
And today we're going to be reviewing the much beloved Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2, officially, or as I like to call it here, Kingdom Hearts 179.
Yeah. Do you know what that title means? Because I thought I would know by the end, and I thought I knew for a minute, and then I forgot.
Not explained in the game. Explained from Nomura years after the game came out.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
Because it's about Roxas and Sora over that period of time. 358 days over two people. It's stupid.
Yeah, that's that's dumb. Yeah, I'd say that's stupid. You know, they could just... I don't know. I don't know what else you could have called it. 358 days. That's it. You don't need to add the two people, because guess what? There's more than just the two characters. And in fact, Sora is not even really in the game.
And it's a division sign.
Yeah.
So why not 358 days times 2?
I thought Asians were supposed to be good at math.
Jesus Christ.
The fuck, man? They can't even set up the problem right. I guess he's more of the creative type.
Did you ever read Outliers? Curious.
I don't think so.
Malcolm Gladwell book?
No.
Oh, that's where the 10,000 hours rule comes from.
Oh, okay.
It's just basically like a series of essays about success and basically like things that lead to success. So like pro sports people, or at least pro hockey players, I believe it was, were like almost all of them were born in a certain month because they were late bloomers in their grade that they came out with. So it was like all these like interesting
I've heard that
like economic things, and one of them had to do with Asians and math. Like that was at least a section in the book, or a part of the book.
Oh, okay.
And it has to do with actually their language. So Asian languages, and I've studied Japanese for a couple years, not that I remember much of it, but it's like the way that they count, like the actual like symbols, it's just more efficient. It's in a more efficient way of like dealing with the numbers in their language.
So it's kind of like how the standard is better than metric for like building things, because you can divide.
Yeah. So there's obviously like that's pretty much the only way that it's better. But yeah, there's pretty much there are just the way that the system handles numbers is more efficient, and therefore you're going to be faster at math in your head than someone who deals with the number system that we deal with. With our I don't know what it's wherever our number system comes from. I have no idea.
I don't know. All I know is that ain't right. It's the name of this game. I know that.
So anyway, I thought that was interesting. It was like, oh, well, there you go. Anyway, not that this game is any good at math.
Yeah. Unless you consider how much of my time it divided from me.
How much of your time did it divide? Do you remember your game time on this? I might have written it down.
It was in the 30s.
Whoa, in the 30s?
Oh, wait, no, maybe. I don't know. Let me look. I have it down. I just got to look.
I think I sent it to you. I don't think
I did some extra stuff too, though, because I can't help myself, man.
Yeah, we've been going through the Kingdom Hearts games though a lot faster than you would expect, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would have to...
I don't know. Based on how many hours I've been putting in, it's about as long as I'd expect. But I mean, it is surprising that we're hammering them like this, because the idea was for us to hit Nude Clan first, but our good friend Zach has hit a wall.
Taking his sweet time.
Yeah, he sent me a message yesterday. He's like pissed at the game, dude. And I was like, yeah.
What's the game? KOTOR?
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, and I'm like, I understand. It was brutal.
Yeah, if you want to hear us bitch about a different game, you can listen to Nude Clan, our other gaming podcast. I can't find my final time. I know it was a couple hours less than yours, though.
27:47 was mine.
I think mine was 24 or something?
It was like, I think it was about 24.
Okay. So it was pretty much a day of my life.
I feel like that's...
Over 2.
Yeah. A day of my life over 2 weeks.
See, we both went through this game. We both played about a day of our lives, and it was over 2 days. Over 2.
Yeah, that's
whatever
true.
that means.
I guess maybe he made it knowing that we would eventually have to play these games.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for us.
So, as usual, normally Square Enix does the opposite. They like remaster a game right after we play it.
Yeah, we'll pretty much play a game and then they'll announce the remaster a week later.
Yeah, so we don't have to
they'll be like, "Oh, Ultima Final Fantasy, did you hear what they did?"
Yeah.
They reviewed Crystal Chronicles and they hated it. How can we possibly make up for this loss? And then they go, "We shall remaster."
Yeah. Yeah, and add multiplayer.
There you go.
It's not on a Game Boy screen that you can't fucking see because your eyes are just too old. Like once you get like 20, you just can't see the Game Boy Advance screen anymore. It's like I don't know, it's like, what's a good analogy? It's like the sound thing, you know how like you got like ringtones that you'd have in high school that your teacher couldn't hear because their ears are too old. They've had too much damage.
Wow.
It's like a high frequency.
A high frequency thing?
Yeah, it's
nice.
like that. It's like a visual version of that. You're just like, I can't fucking see it. I'm too old.
Nice.
Too old to see that screen. Just looks like a gray piece of shit.
So, anyway, we both beat this about a week ago.
Yeah, we were going to record, but we ran into problems. Honestly, I don't think it was going to happen that day anyway, because based on when I beat it, I would have been down there for a while before.
I mean, you could tell the story on that. Why not?
Yeah, so I mean, I went down to Cedar City with the plan to review 358 over 2 days about a week ago with Joe.
Because we live almost 4.5 hours apart from each other.
Yeah, we just keep getting further away. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to bring the family or somebody so that it's not me just abandoning everybody all weekend. Because it was like a weekend, an actual Saturday, Sunday off, which I don't ever get, basically.
Yeah.
Now I get Sunday and Monday, but still not Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, oh, let's bring the kids, or I'll bring somebody. And then Alex, my wife, she said she wanted to go. And so we stayed at a nice, Marriott, I guess was all right. And went and saw a movie, and I was like, all right, I got to beat this game. We all went out to dinner, went back to the hotel, tried to beat the game, didn't. And I was like, all right, I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and then I'm going to beat this thing. So we wake up the next day, it's snowing like a bastard, and apparently the sister-in-law couldn't handle the boys. And I knew about 80% of it was her just being incapable. And I was right once I got back, and I was not happy about it. But I had 3.5 to 4 hours of drive time to kind of get over that. So we just fucking left. Like, we just left Cedar City.
Yeah,
I'm like, sorry,
nice.
man, I got to go. It was nice having dinner with you. Like, that was good.
You drove 3 hours to have some dinner and sleep at a hotel
and watch a movie at a movie screen that is pretty small. It wasn't the worst thing ever.
Oh, you're talking about, the movie theater in Cedar City that sucks ass?
It ain't as bad as the AMC in Provo. At least I wasn't freezing my ass off.
Okay. That's a pretty comparable movie theater.
They're both not good.
No.
This one was better, but not good.
The only difference is you have alternates in Provo you can go to.
Yeah, I do, yeah. But the sucky part was I saw the, they had that like Movie Pass thing for a while when Movie Pass went away. The only one that had one was AMC, and I was like, I'm not going to that fucking AMC, dude. They're like, it's like 2 degrees in there.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, I went and saw Phantom Thread, and I was freezing my ass off, dude. I was like, fuck. Like, I could see my breath. I'm like, in a fucking movie theater. I was like, what is this? So, yeah, I drove for 8+ hours to go watch a movie in a shitty theater, sleep in a hotel that cost me a bunch of money, and eat Mexican food, and then go home.
Yep.
So, I did that. And then I beat the game, I think later that night or maybe the next night. So that's the story of that.
Good trip over 2.
Yeah. Time waste over 2 days.
So now I'm here after Thanksgiving, which is nice. Already beat the next game, which is also nice.
I'm 2/3 of the way.
That yet, though.
2/3 of the way done with that one.
Pretty much, guys, you got about 5 days to give us your reviews for Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
If you want those read on the show for next time. So Make sure you guys get on that at fffanatics123@gmail.com or on our Discord channel in the reviews and questions section.
Yeah, give us some reviews and stuff, man. We've been pounding these so hard that I think you guys don't even have time to get the reviews out and stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys just don't give a shit, but I mean, I can tell you're listening, so... You know, but maybe Birth by Sleep, 358 over 2.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, maybe nobody just cares. I know everyone that I know hates Kingdom Hearts 3, so...
Yeah, so
maybe
give us your vitriol.
Yeah, maybe they all just suck.
All right, well, let's get into the development of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Kingdom Hearts 358 over... What the fuck are you doing right now?
Oh, I'm getting in the spirit of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. I got some sea salt caramel ice cream bars.
Oh my god. I was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you right now? I was so mad when you pulled that food out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know this is a sin, but...
we were both supposed to be fasting today as well.
Well, you ate, you fuck.
I ate yesterday.
Oh. Well,
and now I ate today.
I haven't eaten for a day and a half. So
There's
we got Halo Top Keto Pops, so...
nice.
Maybe.
So a lot of people are going to love us doing that while we're talking. But yeah, it is quite fitting, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I had to.
So, developed by hand under the guidance of Square Enix, Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2 was directed by Tetsuya Nomura and co-directed by Tomohiro Hasegawa. Its genesis stemmed from Nomura's desire to create a Kingdom Hearts spin-off tailored for a mobile platform with gameplay deviations from its predecessors, with the choice of the Nintendo DS as the platform that was made early in the process. Roxas, envisioned as the protagonist, served as an accessible entry point for players new to the series, while his ties to Organization 13 formed the thematic core for the storyline. The development team faced challenges adapting gameplay mechanics to fit the DS's interface while striving to maintain the essence of previous Kingdom Hearts titles. The enigmatic... Sorry, now I'm all like... Now I got like spit in my mouth and everything because my body's like, give me that.
Give me those subpar ice cream bars.
Actually, it's pretty good. I like it. Yeah. It probably cost $1 million because it's a keto ice cream bar.
Yeah, they were not cheap. But.
Yeah. The enigmatic title, 358 divided by 2 days, initially left unexplained by Nomura, actually refers to the story arc encompassing Xion. I look at the name and I say Zion, but it's Xion.
Yeah.
Xion and Roxas, not Sora and Roxas. Excuse me. Xion and Roxas is 358 days as Organization 13 members. Despite Birth by Sleep, it kind of is Sora, though, as we'll find out. Despite Birth by Sleep being the first in the development pipeline, 358 over 2 days was released ahead of it. However, the game faced its own delays, shifting its release from the end of 2008 to February 2009, and subsequently to May 2009 in Japan. North America and European releases followed later that year. The game's reception was mixed. Critics lauded its graphical prowess on the DS, praising its fidelity and transition from console to portable gameplay. Famitsu in particular applauded the captivating graphics and engaging gameplay mechanics, rating it highly. However, criticism surfaced regarding controls and the convoluted storyline, with some reviewers expressing disappointment in certain aspects of the game's narrative and gameplay execution.
Yeah, Michelle Obama was also opposed to it. Too much ice cream eating.
Sales-wise, Jesus. I was like, where are you going with this? 358 over 2 days. Found success, topping charts on its release in Japan and garnering substantial sales globally. In November 2009, Square Enix announced that the game had sold 1.22 million units worldwide. Beyond the game's release, its impact extended to merchandise, including a themed edition of the Nintendo DSi and printed media such as light novels and manga adaptations. Yes, I said manga. Despite its varied reception, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days carved its niche within the franchise, with many fans praising its gameplay and tragic storyline, as I often read on YouTube comments from sad people. So
tragic storyline
having to do with like Sheehan and the fact that no one feels anything and all that.
I feel like that's not true.
Stuff. But considering how emo-y it kind of is.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't actually cite the source on this, but pretty sure that ice cream sales also went up in Japan.
Yeah.
Subsequently to the game. So.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find any blue ice cream, sea salt ice creams. Apparently you can make them, but I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. I don't have time to make ice cream.
No. Other people make Thanksgiving food, not me.
Yeah, I don't have time. I have to play these fucking games. I can't make ice cream.
I went upstairs to Caleb's place earlier today. And it was, oh my God, the worst mess I've ever seen at his house ever.
Yeah.
Any house that he's had. And I went, what the fuck? And he goes, I have no time. All I do is work and play these games.
Yeah, man, it's true.
All right, fair enough. Because that's probably a lot to handle.
Like I as mad as I can get at the wife, it's like, I'm not fucking helping. All I do is sleep, wake up, play, go to work, come back, sleep, wake up, play.
Sleep, wake up, play, go to work, play, sleep, wake up, play.
And then every time I see Joe with progress on the next game on the Trello board, I want to choke him. Like, you fuck! Why can't you just wait? Why can't you just fucking wait?
I can't wait. If I wait, it becomes a pattern. And then
the pattern is I get fucking mad every time. That's the pattern.
Like, our goal is to beat these Kingdom Hearts games before the end of the year.
God, dude, we got a fucking full-fledged game, like an actual game, Kingdom Hearts 3. And the not a fake game, point 2, and another fake game, music, melody, whatever the fuck.
Okay. So point 2, which we have added to the list thanks to protests apparently online. That's only supposed to be 2 or 3 hours. And then Melodies of Memories, 9 hours, I think.
Memories of Memories.
I got a lot.
Nice.
And then, so that's only 10 hours. And then you got a 20-hour Dream Drop Distance. Honestly, all my game times have been shorter than all of them have been shorter than the how long to beat time, which is kind of what we go off of.
Yeah, mine for the most part have been, but like I'll do extra stuff too. So even if it's not, I'm not.
Fuck that.
You gotta do 100 Acre Wood, man. Come on, like Winnie the Pooh's legit. It's always optional. And this one, is it even in Birth by Sleep? It keeps like telling me there's like
there's like a weird thing going on.
Look at the book, and I look at the book, and it's like unlocked, and then there's no Winnie the Pooh. I'm like, where the fuck is Pooh?
Where is he?
I want my honey. I need my honey from Pooh Bear.
Give me my honey, boy.
Yeah. So I don't know, but even then though, I think this one is like 34 or something like that on How Long to Beat. I feel like it's way high.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
No, I think it was 26.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so I did a little
20.
over.
Yeah.
That's not bad considering I did like a bunch of optional stuff.
Yeah. When you told me, I was like, I'm doing all the missions. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I did feel a little remorse, but then it was kind of freeing because I was like, I didn't really like those missions anyway. And then the missions also guilt trip you into being like, well, you're successful, but you could do more. And like there's a little meter where it's like, you can leave now, and then it's like, now you'll leave with like honor roll, like you'll be on the dean's list of this mission.
It does not. I mean, there might be a secret whatever. I'm sure there is, because there is in most of these games, but it does nothing.
Yeah, it like maybe some more items, but I don't even feel that.
Yeah, you might get an item.
Yeah. I mean,
stupid.
It was an easy game for the most part.
Final boss, nothing.
A little douchey, like the 9th form. The last one was pretty annoying.
There was a lot of forms on that one.
Yeah. The last one I had to do like 3 times.
It was scary because every time there's like a million forms, you're never sure if the game's going to be a forgiving game where it lets you restart the form, or if it's going to make you redo the whole goddamn thing.
Luckily, this one was pretty forgiving.
So
it gave. I just had to redo the last one like 3 or 4 times.
So the game delves into Roxas's narrative preceding the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. Born as Sora's nobody on the day Sora becomes heartless in the original Kingdom Hearts, Roxas is discovered by Xemnas, the leader of Organization 13, in Twilight Town. Named the 13th member, he embarks daily on missions, alone or with fellow members, to vanquish Heartless using the Keyblade, obliterating captive hearts. These hearts aid the organization in summoning Kingdom Hearts to achieve their goal of completeness. Under Axel's care, Roxas forges a friendship, spending leisure time atop Twilight Town's clock tower, conversing and enjoying sea salt ice cream. Every fucking day. Every day. Never taking a break.
Yeah, man. You'd like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm like slightly, I don't know. These are supposed to be like lactose free, I think. Maybe not. Some of them were that I saw.
Okay.
And then some of them were yogurt, so they're like hyper lactose. But yeah, I don't know how they're not fat slobs after doing this every day.
No, it makes no sense. Those guys should be roughly 400 pounds each by the end of the 358 days over 2.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering they were probably doing missions every day. We just luckily didn't have to do that. So their ice cream ended up daily.
Like the missions only take like 20 minutes. I think the counter argument you would hear is be like, well, they're fighting things all day. They're jumping. And I'm like, 20 minutes of a cardio workout? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. That's maybe 200 calories.
What if it's like an alcoholic? It's like, if I don't eat lunch, I can drink beer tonight. Instead, they're like, well, if I don't eat anything, I can eat my ice cream atop the tower. So, like, that's their only caloric intake.
Yeah. Why don't they ever talk about that, though? Like, I want to hear the details.
Yeah, I mean, that's... With these Kingdom Hearts games, there basically are no details at all. It's like... Yeah, I get there's a bunch of things that are in the universe, but like it doesn't really explain why. Like, why is it this way? Like, what is these people's economy?
What
like,
is
how
a fucking heart still? Like,
yeah.
I get it. It's kind of a soul, but
it's a soul.
What?
But like, but then how if you lose your soul, how are you? But then also this clone of you is also kind of you. But you both have aspects that are typically, referred to as a soul, like personality and like
you're not a zombie, you're not a husk of a person, so I'm confused.
And then like I don't know, I in this one I've started to like, I was like, what's the economy here? Like, where are they buying these ice cream bars? Like, what do people do?
There's a couple shops down below.
What do people do though? Like I was like, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, the world just doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, what's the exchange rate? Like, what's the dollar value in these places? Like, none of it means anything. It's just shit.
Who made the giant chairs for the Organization 13 members?
I mean, we figured out.
Why did they decide it that way?
They just teleport to them. Now we figured that out.
Which of those weirdos was like, I'm thinking 25-foot chairs. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
No,
Pure marble.
Chairs ranging from 18 to 33 feet.
Yeah. With an average of 25.
With an average of 25. I mean, I don't want them all to be the same.
Yeah, we got to have a hierarchy here. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like things about the world that I'm like, it just doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that happens, and like you can understand.
You can actually
what's happening.
Kind of understand what's happening, but yeah, no context.
Yeah, it's like why though?
Context is never given.
Yeah.
So upon Shion's mysterious arrival as the 14th member, her appearance, which Roxas kind of has is it a crush? Kind of?
I guess, yeah. I mean, he can't feel, but
Yeah, whatever that means. Her appearance varies based upon individual perceptions. Paired with Roxas after Axel and the others are assigned to Castle Oblivion, Shion generally opens up, revealing her resemblance to Sora's friend Kairi and her Keyblade-wielding ability. Roxas slips into a coma concurrent with Sora's slumber to reclaim lost memories from Castle Oblivion. Upon awaking, Roxas, Axel, and Shion form a tight bond, but Roxas' growing exposure to Sora's memories sparks curiosity about his own identity and doubts about the organization's motives. Meanwhile, Sora, still asleep, is relocated to Twilight Town for memory restoration overseen by Diz and Naminé. Shion, I want to say Zion because it's Xion, and even when I was playing the game, it was, even though I heard Shion over and over again, I was still like reading it as Zion.
Yeah.
So Shion faces an identity crisis and conflicting loyalties when Riku suggests she merge with her original self. Shion learns she's an imperfect replica of Roxas, created from Sora's memories by Vexen for the organization's contingency plans. Struggling with her identity and appearance shifting towards Sora's, she leaves Organization 13, causing a rift with Roxas and Axel. In a confrontation, Xigbar encounters Shion, revealing hints of Ventus's presence before Shion defeats him mysteriously. Roxas leaves Organization 13 to seek his own path, displeasing Axel. Xemnas reprograms Shion to absorb Roxas, preventing Sora's awakening. However, Roxas defeats her, learning of Xemnas' motives before merging with her, halting Sora's memory restoration. Shion's serene demise leaves Roxas with her Keyblade, enabling him to wield 2 Keyblades. Roxas confronts Riku, seeking his merging with Sora. Riku, tapping into darkness, defeats Roxas, adopting Ansem's appearance. Riku brings Roxas to Diz, who digitizes him into a virtual Twilight Town. In the closing scene, Roxas contemplates his fate as he heads towards the usual spot in Twilight Town. He wonders if the long-awaited beach trip with Hayner, Pence, and Nolette will finally materialize, a nod to the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2. So it's a really weird alternate world prequel to Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, and once again, it has the stupid bullshit of...
What happened?
You're gonna... Well, yeah, that, and like... I feel like, wasn't there a scene near the end where like there was going to be some memory loss? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're not going to remember any of this.
No, he doesn't remember any of it. He's just in Twilight Town at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2.
I'm like, man, why do you fucking do that? You're like, well, this game was a waste of your time. And then this game, oh, this one's a waste of your time too. Well,
melodies of memory, maybe they all get their memory back.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we have to, serenade them to get their fucking, to make them remember.
Dude. Do you remember this? Dude. Honestly, you should put money down on that being that does sound like something that Square Enix would make.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's going to be one of those things that I predict and then I forget that I predicted it. Because I don't give a shit about it. Even though it's like, this one's different though. Because like when we're doing FF16 or 15 predictions in like 2016, like, or 15 or 14, that's different. But now it's like a month away.
Yeah.
So maybe. I swear to God, if that's it, I'm going to be mad. I feel like it's kind of a betrayal, though, because on one hand, each one of these games does kind of add to the overall. But, like, there's always a take backseat at the end of these fucking mobile titles. Like, they're like, oh, well, you're not going to remember this. We're going to put you in this little onion pod, and you're going to forget all this shit in your deep sleep. But I'll write this cryptic line in your journal, and then you'll like wonder what the fuck it is, and eventually you'll figure it out. And then the next mobile game, it's not really Sora. It's a digital Sora, see? So it didn't actually happen. It's like, okay, well, that was a waste. And then this one, again, it's like, oh, well, here's all the shit that happened. But you're not going to remember it when you wake up. You're just going to wake up and be a normal kid.
Yeah,
it's like...
yeah, those lines can be summed up in Naminé saying... and then some things happened.
Yeah.
And like, oh, those things are the entire last game.
Yeah, it's like 20 hours of getting my ass kicked.
Those things that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fuck, man. And then I do kind of wish we would have played the second playthrough of that. As far as the story goes, because like now that we're doing like 0.2 and bullshit like that, we probably should have played the Riku playthrough on Chain of Memories, because that also had story. If we're gonna justify doing like DLC for 3 or like fucking...
Okay, this is how I see 0.2 as working on our list. Because we have rules, guys. In case you guys haven't listened to every single episode with absolute fidelity, we don't play mobile titles, and we don't play DLC. Like, those are not required of us. We can if we want to, but they're not required on our list. This one is, however, kind of a standalone game that came out in an official physical release.
Yeah.
And in that respect, I guess it counts. I guess. Same with Radical Dreamers, by the way, the Chrono Trigger sequel.
Yeah. So we'll count those.
I suppose.
Because they have story elements and stuff like that.
I mean, a lot of people are saying we're not going to understand Kingdom Hearts 3 if we don't play 0.2.
Yeah, which, I mean...
Which is insane to me, but okay.
I feel like that's why so many people don't like this series. Like, there's a lot of people that love it, obviously. I feel like most of them are like Disney lovers, though. So they're just going to love it because of that. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people, like our friend Caleb Craig, like don't like the Kingdom Hearts games, or at least 3. And I wonder if it's because it
makes no sense.
Or it does like take backsies.
Well, the second one, I mean, I've played 2, and I thought, like, and maybe I said this, but I thought it would be like revelatory, like, oh, now the second one makes sense because I played the first one. Actually, not really.
Yeah,
because the Riku stuff is not in there at all. So outside of like he's looking for his friend, and it's it's got a bit of a gay connotation, I must say, but
yeah.
There's things in there like Nominees makes no sense. If you just played Kingdom Hearts 1 and then went into Kingdom Hearts 2, it's like there's just some blonde girl there, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And then where Riku is by the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 also doesn't really make sense without Chain of Memories. So, and without the second playthrough of Chain of Memories, which I didn't even do. So like, yeah, there's nothing in there that really... There's so much in there that's missing.
Yeah.
So I can understand that point of view, I guess.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I don't mind them. I'm having fun playing these games, but...
Yeah, the story has not hit me, though, like, at all.
No, I'm not
any of these games.
I'm not into it, you know.
No.
I'm not... I've found that I'm not really into, like, a lot of stories in these games. Like even 16, I'm like... Yeah, it's like 14, but someone said no on occasion. Like it's a 14. We're like, okay, come on, yeah, let's chill out. So I'm not like, oh man, that was amazing about most video game stories as it is. And these aren't really capturing me. I do think they're fun, and I'm liking the series. I'm glad we're playing them.
I think the gameplay is actually the thing that's kind of
the saving grace
of the Kingdom Hearts games. I think they're fun.
Yeah.
And since 1 have gotten like interesting and fun and all sorts of things. And we'll definitely talk about that gameplay. What do you think of the story of 358 over 2 days?
I think it's kind of weird. For a minute, I thought that like they were going to do some kind of like FF10 style, because that summon in there, what is it? The one that's like the double-sided, and it's supposed to be like the male and female.
Double-sided?
Yeah, it's like the dark one, the one that's all chained up.
Anima?
Yeah, Anima. I thought they were going to do something like that with Xion or Sean, whatever the fuck her name is.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, maybe it's like, it's like the female version of like Roxas. It's like Roxas that was like fragmented, and there's like it's like 2 parts of a whole, It's like there's the masculine and the feminine, and they're both the same thing. And then I was like, they didn't. It's like, no, she's just like a another copy, like a chick copy of Sora, and I was like, that was dumb. And so I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna do that, and then 5 minutes later, they're like, nah. But I don't know. I mean,
what would be interesting is if we found out later on that Sora was intersex.
Yeah.
Somehow he actually had a male part and a female part.
Yeah.
Come apart, you know?
Yeah, he's like a transvestite.
Yeah. Something, like, like the actual medical, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Born with both genitalia. That'd be interesting. They would never do that in a Disney game.
Probably not. Well, you never know anymore. I mean,
I'm putting lesbians and
putting lesbians that got granddaughters in the Buzz Lightyear movie. Try to make sense of that.
I mean, I have known. Gosh, I know someone. I think whose like mother became a lesbian later.
But she was a lesbian.
She was a lesbian the whole time.
Like,
let's
young.
be honest, yeah.
And then, like, later they're like, oh, it's my grandma. And I was like, what did she just decide? Well, I guess
adopted,
I'm going to have to
maybe?
Take one for the team because we're on a fucking planet stranded. I'm going to have to procreate or we're all going to die out. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, maybe.
Artificial.
I better go fuck that dude.
Yeah, for the good of the
humankind.
That's right. Yeah. That's
interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. I was like, what the fuck in that movie?
I've never seen it. I've only heard the reason I didn't watch the Buzz Lightyear movie, and I think the reason nobody watched the Buzz Lightyear movie is because Tim Allen wasn't voicing Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
So it seemed wrong. When you were watching, you're like, who? Like, I think it's
Chris Evans.
Okay, it's Chris Evans. Yeah, it was one of the big Marvel guys.
Like Chris's.
But it's still, like, not Tim Allen.
I know, it's weird. And their justification, which I think is bullshit, was, Tim Allen was just the toy based on that. And I was like, oh, yeah, because, Mickey Mouse has like a fucking New York accent when he's in a toy form. He doesn't sound like Mickey Mouse. Fucking idiots. It's like, it would be the same voice. So or
at least an impersonation of that voice.
Yeah.
Instead of sounding like a totally different being.
Yeah, exactly. So that was
bizarre.
Bullshit. Yeah.
And so I'm like, this isn't exciting. And I honestly think where they're like, well, Buzz Lightyear was a big flop. And I'm like, this is obvious. It's obvious why it's a flop.
Yeah.
Tim Allen's voice is like part of the how you recognize Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
And so now he's gone. It's like, what is there left? What's left?
I don't know. Speaking of Tim Allen, I swear like my life has just become like Home Improvement.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll just like, it's like, but instead of the neighbor, it's like the kids. Like I'll look over, I'm like washing my hands after taking a piss and I look over and the baby's like got his eyes over the top of the fence, kind of like the fucking neighbor guy. And like if you make eye contact with them, they like want interaction. Yeah, that's what it's become. It's weird. It's like,
speaking of stories with no context, that would be one.
It's just odd. Like I just always find them like creeping. And like the other day I woke up and the baby, I like woke up and just like looked over and the baby's like head was like, he was coming up the stairs, but he was kind of just like staring at me like through a little hole in a toy. And it just reminded me of that fucking show. And I was like, man, I haven't thought about that show in like years. So yeah, speaking of Tim Allen, but do you think isn't there a Toy Story area in Kingdom Hearts 3? I think I heard that.
I think so.
That'll be fun.
Maybe, yeah.
That'll be good.
As opposed to this game, which was all the other areas again.
Yeah, every area that we bitched about and moaned about.
Every area
once again.
Repeated over and over and over and over.
Over 358 over 2.
Yep. Finally, some change on the horizon, by the way, after this game. The story for 358 over 2. Interesting. It definitely had some like little dramatic points with Xion and all that stuff. Some parts where Roxas is, of course, like contemplating his own existence and some sort of existential crisis as being a being without a heart and not being like a true being and like what a nobody is and all that stuff. So it's interesting stuff. Again, there's no context to the world, so when you're cynical like us, you kind of look back and you're like, what does this mean though? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But if you're not, I guess it's in the kind of the darker tone of it, or the kind of you feel like a sense of loneliness with it is kind of what you get. And I can see like a lot of people online definitely look at this as one of the better Kingdom Hearts stories. And it's because of those, I think, elements. However, my playthrough of this game was repetitive, super repetitive scenes of like him and Axel and Shion out on the tower eating ice cream, having a small conversation about an existential crisis or the organization or Shion or whatever, over and over and over again. Because it's 358 days, which luckily it's not 358 required missions in a row.
Yeah.
It's only about 50 something. I don't know. It's a lot, but it's not ridiculous, but it was a lot. And then a cutscene, a very outside of like maybe half a dozen of them, very similar cutscenes over and over and over again. We were saying before that it was actually quite surprising that this was not a Hajime Tabata game.
Yeah.
Because Hajime Tabata, who made Crisis Core and who made Final Fantasy 15 and who made Parasite Eve the Third Birthday, games we've played for other podcasts and for this podcast.
And Crisis Core. He did Crisis Core.
I said that first.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Crisis Core as well. They're all games that kind of that have similar patterns.
Type
Not
Zero.
all of them. Not 15 is kind of the exception. Yeah, Type Zero as well. Where it's just like you do a mission, you get a cutscene. You do a mission, you get a cutscene. And they call them missions most of the time. You do a mission, you get a cutscene. And that, although it's not a Hajime Tabata game, that's exactly how this game is structured.
Yeah.
And it started to grind my gears about halfway through the game. I was like, oh, just get through this. Oh.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think it was cool seeing more of Organization 13, I guess. I liked that aspect of the story.
Sure, yeah.
It kind of adds personality to some of these people without personality that are not supposed to have personality, but totally do. Because their souls are gone, or their hearts, or whatever the fuck. So that was kind of interesting. The next game actually does that quite a bit as well. We see the before they died versions of them, or before they became heartless, which I guess is the same thing. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows, yeah.
But I liked that. I think it was cool seeing like some of the dudes that we fought that were just kind of randos in Kingdom Hearts 2, like kind of flesh them out a little bit more. I still don't really... I kind of get their objective, but like... what do they think is going to happen? I mean, I don't know. Like, they want to have a heart again, but they only exist because they don't have a heart. So what happens when they do get a heart? They just...
do they go back to their other being that they were split off from?
Yeah, because in Kingdom Hearts 2, at the end of that, Sora and Roxas kind of fuse back together, right? So what happens then? Like,
it's not the... oh, isn't it the beginning? It's like the onion. Roxas gets back with Sora. No, because then he's back in the hood.
yeah.
What the heck is going on? I don't know. I've lost. There it is.
Yeah, at the end, he like morphs back in. So like, what happens if they get a heart without that? Like, are they now a true entity that's not them? But then how could that be possible if they only exist because they were separated from them?
I mean,
whose heart are they fucking getting? Like,
it gets even more complicated when you add a certain Ventus to the mix.
Yeah, yeah. And how are they, like, who's the heart transplant doctor here? Like, who's putting these hearts in? Like, what's this? What's
magic.
What's the progress? What's the process here? Yeah.
Disney and Square Enix present magic.
Yeah, that's right. So I just don't understand.
I mean, I like Axel as a character, so that was entertaining to watch Axel. And to kind of get like this like super depressing kids game.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, and I think it makes sense as a mobile title. Like we said, Hajime Tabata. That's basically all he did outside of 15. And it feels like those. It's like, oh, here's a bunch of missions, like you said, cutscene. It's got like the 13 style thing with the cutscene as well, where it's like the same fucking thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Instead of the dramatic little 13 music, it's ice cream bars come out.
Yeah.
They whip out the sea salt ice cream. But yeah, I mean, as a handheld, I don't think it's that bad. Story-wise, it's kind of light. It does the take back to you a little bit at the end, where Roxas is going to be like, "Oh well, none of this matters because you won't remember," which is a fucking. It's kind of like an offensive scapegoat where they just like, yeah, it happened, but they're not going to remember, and it's like, well, why do you keep re-releasing in the 0.2 and all these fucking versions of your game if you're just going to say fuck it, like what's the point? But again, maybe that's just me being like crotchety. But outside of the Organization 13 guys, I don't really care too much for the story in this game. I don't really think Kingdom Hearts has a good story anyway. I think it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. So, like, I'm following it, but I, one, don't care, and two, it's just shit happening. Like, it's just, okay, then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then I always go back to, yeah, but why? Like, what? Why do you want a heart? Like, what? You want to exist, but then what happens? Like, I don't know.
Who's constructing Kingdom Hearts, too? Like, all these hearts are just floating out in the ether somewhere?
Yeah,
and then like who's the guy like capturing the hearts and like putting them into like shaping them into a brick and then putting that into a world, Like
I just sound like in 2, it's like every time you kill a non-basic heartless, it releases a heart that floats up to Kingdom Hearts. And you're like, okay, why do they have? I don't know. Whatever.
What is happening?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not super stoked on the story, but I haven't been basically the whole time.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just getting more convoluted as time goes on.
True.
Kingdom Hearts 1 until the end was pretty normal game. And like the last like few minutes is like, oh, well now it's just crazy. And then since then it's just gone off the rails, but that's all I really got for story. It's kind of interesting seeing, I don't know, another aspect of Sora, I guess. I don't know how that's possible, but
whatever.
They cloned.
If you wanted more of the Roxas section from Kingdom Hearts 2, don't worry, there's a whole game for you. Yeah. Basically.
There's a whole like 24-hour game that you can play.
Over 2. So, gameplay. I think this plays really similar to just the regular Kingdom Hearts, like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. It's less complicated. It's definitely made for a handheld system. This was made before Recoded, which we already played, but not before Coded, which is why we played Recoded first. And it's developed by the same team. Generally, you're just dropped in for a mission. You got to kill some things or collect something. And it's just back into like copy and paste, like the exact same areas as they were in Kingdom Hearts 2. When you're going into Twilight Town or Halloween Town or whatever, it feels like it was maybe scaled down a little bit, and it's definitely been simplified. Like the look of it has been simplified for the DS title. Although maybe not, because the other one was on PS2, and maybe I'm comparing it to the upscaled version on the PS4.
Yeah, the remaster, yeah.
So maybe it's not in that way, but and it's pretty simple. You just go to like the triple question mark areas. You go to the places you haven't been, and you go kill some things, and then the mission's kind of over. Gameplay wise, again, it's like Kingdom Hearts 2, but without like the combos, like the triangle hit combos, like it doesn't have that. But otherwise, it's like a pretty darn standard Kingdom Hearts game. The back end is a little different, like the leveling up. Your stuff is a little different, or getting your. You kind of have like this. It's similar to Recoded in a certain way. It's less complicated, but it's like you have this grid and you have abilities, and you put the abilities down on the grid, and you only have so much space on the grid. And every time you level up or you do required missions, you get like a new space on the grid, and you can get like a level up coin that builds up your stats, and there's certain things you can put on the grid that will connect to other things on the grid that will have specific effects for either abilities or certain ones will be like a level up ×3 or whatever. And so all the level up chips that you put in the level up thing then has triple the amount of stat increases and stuff like that. So it's really similar to the other, to Recoded in that way. Which was pretty fun near the end of the game when you had a lot of stuff to just be able to kind of like figure out your perfect setup.
Yeah.
In order to level up like 30 times like just by placing the chips in a certain way.
I did feel like I was playing Resident Evil 4 though. Like I'm like pulling everything out of my inventory and then like fucking like mashing shit into my case. I'm like, all right, I got to throw an egg over here so that I can make space for the submachine gun and all of its fucking ammo.
Diablo 2 inventory.
Yes, similar, same shit. Yeah, you're like, all right, get rid of this shit. I got to fucking reorganize.
Yeah, as soon as you get like a new, like, ooh, it's magic ×4 or whatever, you're like, okay, well, I got to get rid of the magic ×3.
And then the design of the chip is all fucked up, and I'm like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah, you got to play Tetris with it.
Yeah, I at a certain point, kind of like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through, I just like, fuck this. And I just cleaned both of them out, and I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to slap all of the level up ones on this page and fucking squeeze them in, and I'm gonna like make use of every fucking spot because some of them will hog extra space, but you only have like one upgrade chip for it, so it's kind of a waste, and so you need to like move shit around. Yeah. Inventory management, man, it's annoying. But
you're saying it's annoying. I actually found it kind of fun, and I found it fun in Recoded as well. Like,
well, Recoded I liked more.
It is better. It's a newer game in that way, but this is like, you could see this is and I read this before, and I think I said this on the podcast. This is like the prototype version.
Yeah,
you definitely see this is like a similar system they're dealing with here, and in Birth by Sleep, frankly, and in Recoded, where it's like you're dealing with like. You're putting abilities together and you're getting like new combos out of them. You're getting like new, like more stat boosts or more magic or more casts based upon how you lay things out in the grid.
Yeah. I think they get better each time though. With each,
I think so. Well, this is the worst version of the ones
this is the worst
so
version. It's not bad though. It's kind of cool.
We haven't played Dream Drop necessarily, but yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a really fun system. And then the gameplay, I thought it's a little clunkier. Like it felt like Kingdom Hearts 1 kind of physics engine going on. So there's definitely, it doesn't have the smoothness of like Kingdom Hearts 2 on the remaster or anything like that. And unfortunately, this game has not been, I think it's the only major one that hasn't been like upgraded where you could play the game totally on a PS4 or PS5.
Yeah. I think the only
version is on the DS.
Yeah, you can like watch the cutscenes.
Yeah, they've made like movies of some of the games.
Dude, I like because
Did you try it?
Yeah, I tried it on the Recoded. No, I'm not doing that. Because I was thinking like, oh, maybe before the review, I'll like
get a refresher,
get a recap, and I'm like, fuck that, dude.
It's 2 hours.
Like
long.
I don't remember these cutscenes. Like this is like fucking 5 minutes into the game. I'm like 10 minutes into watching these things. I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not fucking watching this again. So I didn't do it, but. This is the major one that doesn't have a re-release at all. Every other one has been redone, recoded, obviously.
Over two,
yeah. Everything else but this one, which is kind of surprising because this one is kind of like a big hit.
There's Kingdom Hearts Key, which is also that's only a mobile title, which has not been remade. And that one also has cutscenes on like 2.8, I think. But we're not playing that one because it's a mobile title only.
Yeah.
As in mobile phones, in case anyone's confused. Which we don't count. Because there's too many like junk games, like all the junk Final Fantasy games they've shoved on mobile phones. I'm like, I'm not counting any of those as Final Fantasy games. Fuck you. If you did want to put it on a console or a PC, go fuck yourself. I'm not playing it.
Yeah, it's clearly a cash grab.
So yeah. But I thought the gameplay was fun. Like it's just a regular ass Kingdom Hearts game outside of that, and it has good mechanics, I think, and good old dodge roll and jumps and air slides and combos and Magic and Faraga all day long.
Yeah,
Good time. I honestly had a good time there, and I had a fun time like trying to because I had done Recoded already. I was like, okay, I kind of get what they're doing here, and so like figuring out how to like exploit like my magic or whatever through that menu system, I thought was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed the gameplay. I've enjoyed the gameplay on all of these games so far. So,
I will say I think this is the only Kingdom Hearts game I've done where I haven't, well, like Recoded, I guess. This is another one that was like easy. I wasn't stuck on really anyone in 358/2.
I got stuck on the like spider monster in the Nightmare Before Christmas.
He was
level.
rough. I think I had to do it twice, but I don't count that as stuck. If I did it over 5 times, then I count that as stuck.
Dude, it took me like an hour.
Oh no,
it was ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh no,
that was one of the ones where we were driving up, and I was still planning on coming back down to do this review, and I was like, I don't think this is happening, man. Like this fucking boss, I can't kill him. That one I got stuck on, and then I got stuck on the final form of the final boss for a little bit. Not as bad, but one of the weird things about this one is your limit happens like when you're low health, but like it feels like each time you use it, like it just takes away.
It does,
and it makes you have to be weaker and weaker to use it again.
So you can't just exploit the limit break.
Yeah.
So if the boss is hard, then you are kind of going down and down further. I want to say I did the final boss a couple times. And that was the thing that I had to do for the very final fight with Riku. It was like he would heal himself, so you had to hit your limit breaks in order to like take his health down, which luckily he was kind of squishy in that way. Like you would hit him at least I would hit him for a lot. But that was one of the exploits of the game, was like figuring out the limit break. And then there was like some sort of potion or something that would get your limit break level higher.
Yeah.
So that was an exploit I did like a couple times at least.
Yeah, there's that. And then I had like auto life on, and so
I never once did it. I was like, I'm saving that.
Oh, yeah, it's just an ability.
Oh, it doesn't go away?
No.
Oh, it's like on the thing, it was like you could only use once, so I thought I would lose the chip.
No, you use it once per fight.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah. So I would have
never once had to restart if that were the case.
I would just sit at low health and just fucking dodge and then do my limit over and over.
Oh,
because I knew I was coming back after getting hit.
That's great.
Time. Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. You got to have that shit, man. You would have probably never lost. Yeah.
No, that would have been a pretty easy one. But again, I'm playing this on super easy, so whatever.
Yeah, I've been doing normal, so it's a little harder. Honestly.
Yeah, that's why all your gameplay times are like 2 hours longer.
Yeah.
I bet that's it.
I think this next one, it's going to be at least a couple hours longer, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because you did it in what, like
21 hours total. for Birth by Sleep.
Shit, I'm at like 18 and I have a third playthrough still. You don't think I can beat it 2.5 hours?
If you skip every cutscene.
They're all different. That's the problem. I was thinking it was going to be the same shit. I was going to be waltzing in on the same story, and I'm like, oh, that's right.
They're all slightly different.
They split up.
They're all slightly. I will say, I think you can, if you weren't reviewing this for a show, for example, you can skip like the Disney only cutscenes pretty easily. Like, without really affecting your playthrough.
They don't really matter. That's something we've kind of talked about.
So if you don't see an Organization 13 guy like pop up, fucking just skip it.
Yeah. That's so weird.
Then you're just dealing with like, oh, we lost the princess. And like, you gotta go find the pieces to get the, like, with the Ventus one, with the getting the fabric and shit.
Dude, that took forever.
That was I think the hardest part of Birth by Sleep, by the way, was just finding those fucking pieces.
Yeah, like
in Ventus's playthrough.
I think I walked past the last one, the one that's up way high, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I went back and talked to the little, the fucking like mouse guy.
Yeah, the mouse that Gus or whatever.
Yeah.
Not Gus. No, it's the other one. I don't remember the name of the mouse, but yeah. And he gives you hints.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I walked right past it, and so I had to climb all the way up to the top, and then I grabbed it.
God.
Yeah.
So you could technically skip those. But
I'll watch it.
yeah.
It is interesting.
I watched
Like
them.
the nice thing about the next game is they're mostly all different worlds. But you do start to realize, like, man, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel here over at Disney. Like, there's other worlds they could have done. Like, we're doing Lilo and Stitch right now. Really?
Really? Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, like, nobody gives a shit about that movie, okay? Nobody. Like, come on. And it's such a weird level, too.
Everybody
It's
has their favorite Disney movie, so you know you're pissing someone off.
Yeah, probably.
Lilo and Stitch was my life.
Yeah.
Home on the Range was my favorite movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm like, man, Cinderella is kind of lame. It's refreshing, though. I'll tell you that. After like Agrabah times 10.
Yeah. It's not the case on this one.
No, this one's a rinse and repeat, baby. Disney was only giving up a little bit of their kingdoms for Kingdom Hearts. So
I will say, we could probably touch on the music and the look of the game now. I think the game looks pretty good for a DS title. I can't really say it looks that much different than any of the other DS titles. It's clearly one that came out before Recoded, but it was on the regular DS, not on 3DS. I think it's a pretty good looking DS title. Honestly, what's crazy is that the DS is powerful enough to play the previous generation's like full on AAA titles.
yeah, with these games, I am surprised by the power of the DS each time. Like, even the fact that I have a 3DS, like, even if it was a 3DS game, I'd be impressed with the graphics. Like, man, for a handheld system that's this old, it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's impressive, you know? And they play pretty well, too.
They do.
You know, they're just a little less, like, quick, a little slowed down, a little dumbed down, but it's not like bad.
A lot of it has to do with like the lack of a real analog stick.
Yeah, that's
on
a
the
big
left,
part, yeah.
and it's the same with the PSP. It's like it's got the slidey deal, which is it doesn't have quite the finesse. But I think that's more the device itself. I'm sure. I think I've seen pictures of like people putting real like analog sticks on their PSPs. I don't know if that is actually a real thing or just a photoshopped thing, but.
I don't know.
It would be interesting if you could actually put like a real like DualShock analog stick on the other side.
I mean, we got spare ones. We could just fucking experiment.
Yeah, fuck it.
Slap a PS5 analog stick on that PSP.
Yeah, we got to spare PSPs with giant batteries that don't fit inside the PSP.
Apparently, that's something that just happens over time. The batteries just swell.
Expand. It's weird.
Yeah, mine's old as fuck though, and mine's never done that.
I think maybe you've just been more temperature controlled. My PSPs have been inside and outside of storage, including like my parents' garage and stuff.
Well, isn't one of the ones you have Craig's too? Because I know he dropped that in the fucking snow one year, and it just was there until it thawed.
Well, I haven't had these battery problems until I picked them up last time that I had to use a PSP for third birthday. So
was it like popping out the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been reading online that that's like a thing.
That's fucking crazy.
I know. I'm like, ooh, God, is that gonna like explode? Like, what's gonna happen to this fucking battery?
Who knows? Well, I'll find out. People are bricking their switches by not plugging them in.
Yeah.
And remember when I didn't plug mine in and I thought I had bricked it?
I had the same thing.
Scared the fuck out of me.
I don't know if they're actually being bricked, but like you have to just keep.
You have to do a 30-second reset on the power button after it's been plugged in for a long time.
Yeah.
Which I had only found that answer because I had this problem before other people apparently had this problem. Or
yeah.
I found that on a forum somewhere, luckily. Because I thought I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to buy a new Switch. Like,
yeah.
I was so scared.
I know, me too. And I was like, I don't even fucking play this thing. Like, what the fuck? Got Drift. I don't even play it. And then now it doesn't work and I don't even play it.
Speaking of Drift with Birth by Sleep, because it doesn't have like the lock-on function, or the lock-on function is different for Birth by Sleep. Like the camera is still free roaming.
Yeah.
Which is, what the fuck? So I had to finally get the $70 new DualShock whatever controller for the PS5 again.
Nice.
And it plays so much better. It was so beautiful playing without a drift.
I bet. My OG one does have drift now.
Oh,
my OG white
finally.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily I have 4 others. I bought a bunch when I bought the second PS5. I think I bought like 2 more.
Oh,
so I have
nice.
3 controllers that don't have it. And no one else touches those.
Don't touch them.
I guess I gave them my new white one. So they have one that's drifty and one that's normal. But then I have the black that's mine. And then the red that's mine.
Nice.
So, yeah, I guess mine did finally get it. But it's weird because I played way more than you did on the PS5. I'm like positive.
I don't know. Maybe I just grip harder. I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these controllers these days. Like,
they're too complicated. They have too much like technology in there.
That's probably it, yeah.
I mean, so in a way, it's like, well, things play awesome, but also things will break down in really complicated ways that are not easily to fix because now you have this like much more mechanically complex device in your hands.
Yeah.
It's weird. And what was also weird about my PS5 was like sometimes it would have the drift, sometimes it wouldn't. There's games that it will almost always have drift on, and then some games that it would never have drift on.
Yeah, I feel like it might be partly like sensitivity in the game itself, you know? Like if the game is a really sensitive game, it'll have it. Because like some games that I was playing, it wouldn't really matter. But if I was playing like
I never noticed it ever during God of War. It like never gave me a drift.
Yeah.
But then I would switch over to Conan, and it would just be swirling around my head on my screen. It's insane.
Damn, yeah. I think it might be partly like how sensitive is the game coding, like because if it can't pick it up, then it's not going to do it. And God of War is like kind of slower somehow than Conan. That doesn't really make
but
any
they
sense.
both have free roaming cameras.
I don't fucking
That's
know.
it's so fucking bizarre. But I just got sick of it. I was like, fucking stupid. I was about to go Christmas shopping for my family. I don't give my friends gifts, by the way. I'm sorry. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other long enough that I understand that. It's been a few years, so.
But I was like, well, I'm going to spend $300 for Christmas. Might as well give myself a $70 gift on top of that. Fuck it.
Yeah, no
Fuck
kidding.
it. I'm spending a bunch of money I shouldn't spend for this. Anyway.
Yeah, those are brutal.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal. Graphics, I think, look pretty darn good. I think the music, almost exactly the same as the other games. I did want to put a caveat on something I said on our last review, which was Recoded. There was actually new tracks for Recoded that I had forgotten about. It was all like in the digital world, there was new like tracks, and it would do like a new, like spruced up, like techno-y version of certain tracks when you were in certain modes and stuff like that. And I didn't give it really the time of day. I think it sounds pretty good. It's good Yoko Shimomura stuff. This game, there was new music in the Organization 13 areas. And then in other games, she is doing in Birth by Sleep, in case I don't say this on the next review, there's new versions of old tracks. Like I could hear that they've been redone. Like they're slightly different. So, and then she has brand new ones, of course, for the new areas as well. So she's doing more work than I think I gave her credit for on the last review. But again, I'm still hearing the same tracks for Agrabah, and it's making me aggravated.
Yeah, aggravated. Yeah, it's that, and then like just the Halloween Town theme. Just I don't want to hear it again.
By the way, the only reason I remember any songs from that movie is because of this game.
Yeah.
Playing the one song.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I never liked that movie.
I've seen it so many fucking times too, and it's never gotten better.
No, it's just weird. It's just like a weird movie.
And it's crazy because the composer, I think it's Danny Elfman. Don't crucify me if I'm wrong on that.
I mean, it sounds like
Who is a very good composer, and I like his music. but I don't like the songs in Nightmare Before Christmas. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, compared to like other Disney songs, like come on.
No.
Like Lion King or like fucking Beauty and the Beast or like nothing. It's not even close to that.
Sorry.
And then every time you go in there, it's just that theme, and you're like, what did you do to people's brains, Tim Burton? You bastard. Yeah, man.
But again, she's still great. But
yeah,
I'm getting annoyed by this game.
Yeah, the sound, it's just too many repeat areas, and like Disney has such a catalog. That's what makes it so surprising.
I think what's surprising though is that it's a repeat area, but they still have more music from those things. Like I know
that's
there's
true. Yeah,
like I can't remember a single song from Nightmare Before Christmas, but I know there's more songs in Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, please God, do a different area song when you get in there. Please.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I wonder if they just had them like by the balls as far as the rights and stuff go. They probably do.
Maybe Nomura just likes the areas having their own theme that never changes.
I mean, you can tell he loves Nightmare Before Christmas because the costumes for the characters, he was like, was probably the first thing he did.
You could tell he likes Tim Burton stuff.
Yeah, that was probably the first thing he fucking did was like concept art. Like, what if we made a Final Fantasy spinoff that had like Nightmare Before Christmas and Disney, and he just fucking starts drawing Sora and like.
I mean, if you think about it,
bat wings.
Yeah, his other character designs, a lot of them, is they like Lulu or something. They look like they came right out of Nightmare Before Christmas.
yeah. I know. I don't know.
Lulu doesn't have twig arms, I guess. So there's that, but
or like a BMI of like 23. Fucking like Sally, just like lump. I don't know. I mean, the belts though, they love the belts and like the shoe. I've started to become like more irritable at like the shoes because I'm looking at them like, hey, Xehanort in the next game, normal sized feet, like just looks normal, like normal dude, Mm-hmm. These kids have like size. They have like Shaquille O'Neal feet.
All right, so
it's like, why?
The first game came out in what, like 2001 or something like that?
Yeah, it's a while.
It was early 2000s, but it was like, tail end of the 90s fashion where everything was baggy.
Yeah.
So
baggy shoes?
Sora's design from the Kingdom Hearts 1 feels like a 90s kid design, or like the 2004 Kingdom Hearts 2. I think it was a little late on this one, but like the kids in Twilight Town, they got like the baggy pants, and then the kids got like a headband.
Yeah.
And everybody has spiky hair. I think it's almost like a sign of the times. Like, I don't know what Japanese fashion was like then.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Kingdom Hearts 2 just feels more like like a recent Godsmack album. It's like, 3 Days Grace was big like 10 years ago, guys. I don't know why you're sounding like them now. Like, you kind of, you missed the boat. And now you
on the headbands and the big jerseys.
Yeah, now you're just pissing me off.
So in a way, like, I remember being a kid and like we always wanted really baggy, big shirts.
Yeah.
And baggy pants and big floppy shoes.
I don't remember the fucking shoes.
Oh, no. Yeah, I remember the shoes. The shoes were big, floppy, like basketball shoes.
I mean, I remember the shirts because I still do that. Like half the time I have massive shirts.
I know, it's like
and then now you've mentioned it to me and I'm like, all right, maybe I need to like have it touch me.
Yeah.
I just don't like to be touched by the clothes even like.
Well, I mean, when you're watching old movies, like when clothes fit someone well, even if they're like old style clothes, like they got wider ties or whatever, they have bigger collars, or the opposite when they got really thin for a couple of years. Clothes that actually fit well, like they were tailored to the person who was wearing them, still look way better. Like when you're looking back. So like the baggy clothes have never looked good.
Yeah, I mean like
they come in and out. Like right now, the teenagers are wearing baggy clothes.
I know
again.
Yeah. It's weird.
And it's like, that's a mistake, guys. You're gonna look back at pictures and you're gonna be like, but if you look at look at Bond movies. That's
Bond. It's always tailored.
Bond stuff is always tailored, even if it's like a little wider and a little looser fit. in like the Brosnan era or something like that, like it still fits him.
Yeah, it was still made for him. Yeah, that's true.
That's something that I think is missing there in that kind of calculation. I guess there's like two ways to look at this. It's like you can look good for now, or you can try to look good for when you have to look at an old picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's that's why I don't do any crazy
crazy trend stuff.
Yeah. Well, two reasons why I don't do crazy hairstyle. One, I barely have any hair left, and two, I've just never been into that. Like, when they're like, "Oh, do you want us to gel your hair?" I'm like, "No, I'm fucking balding. Why would I want product in my hair that doesn't exist?" First of all, and secondly, yeah, it just makes you look like you're right now.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't care, man. I'm just gonna fucking part it to the side and bald with dignity, and look timeless and yet ancient at the same time, like. Because anyone that you can fucking tell, like you said, looking back at like my mom in the yearbook, like crazy big hair, like no one does that anymore. You could tell it's an old photo. I want to be like the Beatles or like the Rolling Stones, like timeless.
Thing is, like I was making fun of, because the girls would do this. They would do like I call it the alien hair thing, which I might have even mentioned early days of this podcast, as this podcast is 10 years fucking old now.
Yeah.
So like, women will, or did, like they used to like rat up the back of their hair to like make it bigger in the back, and then like put like smooth hair over the top of that. I don't know the terminology for this, but it would make like a cone shape thing going on in the back. And I made fun of this openly on Facebook, and my sisters were like, because I was a shit on Facebook making fun of how women looked, and I would write that down on my like Facebook posts, and my sisters like went after me, like, how dare I make fun of the way that someone was doing their hair, and women are being judged all the time for their looks, and how dare I add to that? But now when you look back on those pictures, they look terrible.
Yeah.
They look absolutely awful.
Yeah.
So
like, this is why they're judged all the time, because they do stupid things like this.
I know. It's tough not to follow trends at a certain point, but like,
yeah, I guess. But I mean, like, I've never been that way. It's like we listen to like metal, but people are always surprised when they find out I listen to metal. It's like,
why aren't your nails painted black?
Why don't you look weird? It's like, well, I didn't say I was in the band Korn. I said I listened to Korn. Like, you don't have to look a certain way to like stuff. Like, fuck, I know. Buy fucking clothes. I don't know.
It's weird. Like, people will take whatever they're into and it'll be their fashion statement.
I feel like, and this might be kind of fucked up, but I feel like it's because it's people that don't have, they're like not distinct enough. Like, they don't have like a personality, and so they have to latch on to something to then make that their personality. And it's weird to me because I'm like, why can't you just be you? Like,
we agree on this.
Yeah. Like, are you so boring that you have to be this mold? Like,
that's
maybe.
I don't know. I think there's like this thing, especially with creative people. Like, they'll want to be creative in like every aspect of their life, almost to the point where they're more creative with how they look than the actual thing that they're creating. And that bothers me.
Yeah.
That really bothers me. It's like, you want to be more known as a filmmaker than making films.
Yeah.
And that attitude is it has bugged me for the last 5 years a lot more than it used to, I guess. But that does kind of extend. It's like the guy, and I was like probably the best or second best guitar player in high school. I'm not now, for sure, for my age, but for then, like, I was really good at it really young. But there were guys that were always like, they had like the emo rock look down.
Yeah, they'd always
be a fucking shitty guitar player.
Yeah,
and like me and the guy who was probably rivaling me, we were both like just dorky looking dudes that just wore t-shirts and jeans, Because all we would do all day, instead of painting our fucking nails, was go like on the scales all day on the guitar. Because we didn't care about how we looked because we were playing guitar all day.
Yeah, you're like the Eric Claptons. You're just like a dude.
Eric Clapton just looks like a dude.
Kind of looks like Steven Spielberg a little bit, and then, plays guitar.
Is that how you view him?
Kind of, yeah. It's weird.
His glasses. He does the round glasses.
Yeah, maybe that's like the only thing, probably.
Yeah.
Just kind of look like Steven Spielberg and play guitar. I don't know.
And it's like, I would really I can see someone looking schlubby, but when they're like really like jazzed out,
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe they're a good vocalist, but I don't think they're going to be a good drummer.
Yeah. It does make it weird though when like normal people are in like big bands. Like
Tom Morello always looks like, I don't know. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
Tom Morello just looks like a dude.
Yeah.
And he's fucking sick on the guitar, and he's done that's his art. That's where he puts all that energy into. He doesn't take that energy and put it into other stuff. Now I sound like such an old man right now. I know it's so bad.
Yeah, well, it's like I think it's the bassist or one of the guys in Lamb of God. It's just like this old guy. It's like the brother of the guitarist or something. It's like his older brother, and he's just looks like this fucking like 60-year-old man with like a huge beard. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. He's just like this old dude's just in this fucking.
Well, it's funny those bands when they get big enough, they start having fashion people or people that dress them for the show. So that's a thing they put on for their show. It's like all like the super tight leather pants or whatever. Like that person's probably not wearing that
every day
in normal day life when it's not an event that has to do with promoting their own work.
Yeah,
probably. Who knows?
That's true.
Depends on the person. Anyway. After that giant diatribe of nothing to do with Kingdom Hearts, I've got at least one review here.
All right, let's do it.
Shinryu says, my review of 358. I enjoyed the portable adventure of learning more about Roxas and Axel prior to the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. For a handheld DS game, it was alright. I think it had a nice multiplayer if I remember correctly. Shien's story was kind of emotional. Honestly feel like that was done pretty well for a side spin-off story. I was annoyed by visiting so many of the same worlds again for like the fourth time in a row. But to be honest, Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance are leagues better as far as portable Kingdom Hearts games go. This game had the weirdest title as well. Just imagine trying to pre-order this at GameStop.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like a 6.5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 on this one. Also, alternate title, Sea Salt Ice Cream the Game.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it might be the only 358 out of 2 review, but I'll keep looking. Is there any in the email that you see?
No, man. I'm way back in like 16 fan fiction entries, which were awesome. That was fun.
Okay. We also missed 2 Kingdom Hearts 2 reviews. I apologize to those people.
Yeah, sorry. You guys reviewed it on time and we just didn't, is what happened. We did other things for a little while. Some Zelda and some Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and some fucking whatever else I played so long ago.
Yeah. Not that long ago, honestly, but
not really.
There's so many games that just like replace the memory. There's a chain of memories and you broke it.
Yeah, it's been broken and I was put in the youngin pod. I don't feel like I've slept for much at all, but
well, with that one review, thank you, Shinryu. The legacy of this game. Okay, so I don't know what you've read in the fan community or whatever. It had mixed reviews from at the time. It did sell really well. Most of these Kingdom Hearts games,
$1 million is pretty
really
good.
Well. Yeah,
that's a big sale for a game.
Handheld side title.
Yeah. Side main title.
Definitely have seen a lot of like YouTube comments or people on Reddit saying like this is underrated Kingdom Hearts games, one of the best stories in the series or whatever. And I think we've already kind of touched upon why people feel that way. I don't think I feel that way. But that's the reason why some people seem to feel that way. Have you read anything about this game? I know we all make fun of the title. I even think like people who are fans of Kingdom Hearts, I don't think anybody has ever come after us for the title stuff. This is a stupid fucking title.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, every time I think about this title or the mix and the 1.5, 2.5...
which isn't even
all in one, like it really makes me angry. It boils the blood, like. And then when I think of one that's called all in one, I'm just like I'm ready to fucking stand up.
I mean, when people make fun of, when we make fun of bad titles from Square Enix, like the Kingdom Hearts series is ground zero.
Yeah.
They're bad. I mean, Various Day Life perhaps is worse than all of them.
It's definitely the worst. That's a really stupid title. Like, what is it? The Sims? Like, what the fuck?
Various Day Life.
Job Simulator 2.0? Is that what that is? Various Day Life? Like,
one made up word of like 3 different words smashed together. One that have nothing to do with each other, but 2 are boring words.
Yeah.
Various.
It's not exciting.
Day Life. Various Day Life.
Day Life sounds boring as fuck.
I'm in line to pre-order that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably the worst title I've ever seen. But Square Enix does make a habit of just awful titles. Like, I just don't get it. I don't know what and it can't be lost in translation. Because, like, look, Resident Evil.
Great title. Lost in translation. Go ahead.
Yeah, Resident Evil is a weird title, but it kind of makes sense because it's like the first one's in a fucking mansion, and then you're like, well, is the resident of the mansion evil? And it's like, no, there's a resident evil that's there. There's an evil force.
There's an evil resident.
Yeah. It's like there's a evil aura about this. But a regular game is called Biohazard, which would have totally worked as well. I don't know why they didn't just say fucking Biohazard. That's a cooler name to me. But whatever. It was lost in translation. But it ain't no fucking Various Day Life. Like that. There's no excuse for that. Like, is there no one that speaks English there? Like, they got to be like, okay, guys, you can't do this. Like, they need the FF12 translation, guys, and not the FF10 translation, guys. They need someone to say, okay, hold on. What are we trying to say here? Because that's not what you want to say. That doesn't make any sense, all right? They need someone there that will say no on the names. Like, don't fucking call it 1.5, 2.5 as if it's all of it. As if, Kingdom Hearts 1 through 2 up to 3 is here. And don't put the fucking names of the games on the back of the box that aren't actually there. It's cutscenes because what sick bastard wants to watch the cutscenes for these? Like, who the fuck? Just a wall of cutscene? Like, oh my god!
How many times do I have to watch these fuckers eat ice cream?
Yeah, like, what the fuck am I watching here? And dude, it like, oh man, it shows the little text boxes and everything. Like, it's like, it is the cutscenes. Yeah, that's why.
They didn't like voice act over it? Oh my god.
That's why I was like, fuck
Do you have to click through it?
No, it goes. It autoplays.
Okay, well, then at least you could get like the background or whatever for finishing the fucking thing.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can just, press play and walk away is basically what I'm saying. But
fuck, but yeah, man, it's like, it's like as lazy as the Wii port for, which one was it? It was
my god! It was
Echoes of Time.
Echoes of Time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fucking. And you told me
Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, you were like, oh, dude, it's literally just 2 screens mashed into one screen, and the top one's the top DS screen, and the bottom one's the bottom DS screen. And I immediately went out and bought the fucking DS version because I had the Wii one. I was waiting.
That's right.
And I'm like, I'm not touching that. That's fucking stupid.
That's lazy as fuck.
That is the laziest shit I've ever fucking heard of. So I don't even know what it looks like. You told me, and I'm like, no.
I can't believe that they did that. Oh my god, why did you remind me of that?
Like, we're not doing that. I'll break out the
and it was
DS.
kind of a fun game too.
Yeah, there's a couple of those.
The later Crystal Chronicles were like fun. They were always like janky, but they were fun.
Yeah, except for that last one. That last one was not fun.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That one was
I said later. I meant
jank.
like after the first shitty one, which everybody loves for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to get like the point of view of like, okay, no one actually plays these fucking games. And then like me and you are of a team of like, I don't know, there's got to be 50 other people on this planet
that played all of them.
That have played all of them and have the perspective of the whole series where you're like you can kind of tell like where the good ones are and where the bad ones are, really.
Yeah.
And it's just, man, there's a lot of crap.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird with the Kingdom Hearts though, because like for a minute it felt like it was delving into like Mana / Crystal Chronicles territory.
because of our first spinoff, Chain of Memories.
But it's kind of rebounding from that. I don't think they're bad.
Okay, all right. Well, we can kind of talk about our rankings, I guess, because the legacy is pretty slim on this one.
Yeah, it's a lot of people love it in hindsight, I think.
Yeah.
And like as a cult classic, they really like it. But at the time, it
also
was
not available still.
Yeah, and that kind of makes it. I mean, we saw that with the Type Zero. Yeah, the coveted shit show that is Type Zero that everyone's
this one's better than Type
This
Zero.
Is the one. We can't give it to America.
This is a better game.
It's like, yeah, because they'll fucking make fun of you is why you can't give it to us. Because they'll just laugh.
Yeah.
Of course it's better than Type Zero.
These Kingdom Hearts games are better than people say they are.
Yeah.
For sure. I like... People are saying, 1 and 2 are the only good ones. I don't even think one's a very good one in comparison to the others because the gameplay, I feel like, is stretched, or at least stretched and add like new elements are added, with all of which like it mixed into like this pretty fun package. So like the story, sure. And maybe people are putting a lot more emphasis on the story, but as far as the gameplay is concerned,
yeah, these are fun.
I think all of them have been fun. All of them. Including Birth by Sleep, which has some PSP jank in it, which I will complain about thoroughly in the gameplay of the next episode. But even considering that's just a PSP game, there's a lot. There's a lot there to be explored and to be like every game you go, like, it's really just like because the gameplay is pretty similar, but like the leveling up system kind of changes in each game.
Yeah.
And just figuring out the exploits of that every new game, plus then the regular Kingdom, like pretty darn fun Kingdom Hearts combat. I think they've all gotten smoother. Like Chain of Memories had issues, and the first game I think had issues, and I think Birth by Sleep has some PSP jank issues. And this one's not as smooth as like the later games, like Recoded. Dream Drop is weird. I've played 1 hour of it, so I won't say any of my opinions there. But it is I don't know. I've had a lot of fun in all these games, and I don't really see them as that drastically different in quality from each other. Outside of, I guess, Kingdom Hearts 2 had like an epic story and a real beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
So it's really in the storytelling that they're super different. But
yeah, and I mean that's one of the things that I care about the least in this series. So
I can understand other people ranking them differently.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about how much fun I had in each game and how that they would rank against each other.
Yeah. And that's kind of a weird one because story, I mean, for most of this podcast, story has been like such an important part. But it feels like the last like year and a half, it's like pure gameplay. It's like we got fucking Stranger of Paradise, which is like the dumbest story ever conceived, but we fucking loved it,
Yeah.
Like 16, I guess, has it's an okay story.
16 has a good story. Yeah.
But the gameplay is like phenomenal.
It's like pause it, go back to the main series, have a different.
Yeah, it's weird. And but I haven't felt this way since like 13. Where the story, I don't like 13.1's story, but then 13.2 is slightly better, and then Lightning Returns is just dog shit story, but it's really fucking fun. Mm-hmm. That's kind of similar to this, except for I don't think Kingdom Hearts story is dog shit. I just think it's kind of dumb, and I'm not really that interested in it.
Yeah,
which is for this pod is weird because Final Fantasy is mostly known for the story, but
yeah. So I think my ranking is as follows. I think Kingdom Hearts 2 is still the best. Does get some points for story. I think it's on console. It's a little bit more complex gameplay wise with all the combos and stuff like that. And I think it's really smoothed down. It feels really good, especially on the remastered versions of the game. I think that's the best one. Recoded. Who gives a fuck about the story? But the gameplay was so much fun for me that Recoded is next. Recoded, and then probably. Gosh, this is tough. Actually, you know what? I think I like this one better than Kingdom Hearts 1. So I'm gonna put 358 over 2 over Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 to me is just janky, and then the story is weird and not that in depth. So I think both of those things are kind of bringing it down for me. Maybe as like a full experience, it might be better, but I think I had more fun in 358 over 2. The missions were super repetitive or whatever, but the actual battle stuff was a lot of fun. And then the leveling up system I thought was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to exploit. So I'm going to say 358 is in third place for me, and then Kingdom Hearts 1, and then Chain of Memories.
Oh, you mean fourth place? So you got... Oh, no, never mind. Kingdom Hearts 2, Recoded, 358, Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Recoded is probably not as... It's probably a lot better than Coded, and it's unfair to 358 over 2.
A little bit.
Recoded came out later, so whatever. It's probably not a good representation of Coded, but I had fun, so I'm putting it higher.
All right. So my rankings: Kingdom Hearts 2, most well-rounded package. Kingdom Hearts 1, I have as number 2. I actually liked it. It was janky in the beginning, but as I unlocked more and more abilities, like the game actually started to flow a little bit instead of just being slow and cumbersome. So I like Kingdom Hearts 1. Next, I'm going to put Recoded. It is unfair because you could tell 358 over 2 was kind of like the entry level for hand
prototyping. Almost.
And Recoded.
It's like Recoded is like a perfection of an old system.
Yeah, because I like the leveling up. I like pretty much everything about Recoded more than 358. I guess the story in 358 is better.
Yeah, it's better.
And these aren't bad. None of these are bad, I don't think. So I put Recoded slightly above 358 over 2, and then Chain at the bottom, which I kind of don't like. The combat in Chain is kind of cool, but
358, Chain of Memories...
It's just kind of an asshole. Like
Chain of Memories is an asshole, and I think if you play it the real way, it's probably like it's super dick. But you could cheese it like I did.
Yeah,
and then it's not too bad of a game.
Yeah, it's just God.
And then
damn.
it feels, I don't know, probably on par with Kingdom Hearts 1. I might have even ranked it higher than Kingdom Hearts 1 in a few of these, but Kingdom Hearts 1, it just feels like the roughest of
you
the
actually
games.
might have put it below Chain before.
Yeah, I might have. They're tied for me almost.
Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with like Recoded and 358. They're pretty close.
Yeah,
and like I don't think any of these are bad except for Chain. I don't like Chain very much. Just too frustrating. But that's the nice thing about this series so far. I don't think any of them have been bad except for the one.
Nope. So anyway, guys, if you want to send us your reviews and your questions, if you ever played Birth by Sleep ever, if you ever touched it or whatever, we'll probably do the review of that on December. What's next Sunday's date? I'll say the date this time. This way we'll have less confusion.
This way we'll have 0 reviews, but we gave you plenty of time.
Yeah, but we gave you actual like a date to give us by. December. Try to get them to us by the end of December 2nd because we'll be reviewing it on December 3rd.
Yeah, I am currently 2/3 of the way done with it. I did 2 of the 3 campaigns. So
Birth by Sleep for there. We'll review it then. You guys can watch us review the game, although I guess there were some sound problems on this one, just with our levels being different. But you guys can hear us review the game live on twitch.tv/Ultimate Final Fantasy. I was going to stream all these Kingdom Hearts games, but I guess there's a bunch of music blocks, and it got really mad at our channel for trying to stream these games.
Yeah. And speaking of block, don't get cock blocked this holiday season. Make sure you use our code UFF at manscaped.com. Nobody wants a hairy set of balls in their face, so
Yeah, make sure your Christmas ornaments look nice and clean.
Yeah.
Below your tree.
Below your tree, yeah. And if you got pine needles growing up halfway up that tree, dude, you got to take care of that shit.
Yeah, you got to take care of that base,
Luckily, the lawnmower 3.0 now. They got the 3.0 package
Oh,
out.
nice.
We got the 2.0, but
2.0 was good enough. I can't imagine how good the 3 is.
yeah, I know. It probably just shaves for you. It's like a Roomba for your nuts.
They don't shave for you.
Yeah, it's not.
Let's be clear.
Yeah, we got to be clear with our plug. But yeah, go ahead and use code UFF at checkout and save 20%. Keep the family jewels looking like jewels, man. You don't want a diamond in the rough to tie it back to Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
Disney.
Well, there's your alarm.
Yeah, time to go.
Time to go. Check out our Discord. Link is in the description of this episode. Same with Manscaped. And then our Twitch as well. And you can support UFF in our final days by going to Patreon. Link in the description below. And thank you to everybody who supports us now on Patreon and who will support us in the future and has supported us in the past. We will see you guys for Birth by Sleep next time.
Until then, live always. Just kidding. Enjoy the grind. I don't know which podcast we're on.